Hello, baseball fans, and welcome to Rivets Rundown. My name's Scott.
I'm Joe Byers.
And we're here to give you the latest from the past week of Rockford Rivets actions. A great place to start is the scores. Last Monday, June 11th, the Rivets took on the Kalamazoo Growlers in the second game of a doubleheader. It was all offense. Chase Keeter pitched a gem on the mound, allowing 0 earned runs. The relief pitchers allowed 0 earned runs. There were 2 runs allowed, but a 7-2 final and a sweep for the Rockford Rivets.
Very nice. On Tuesday, June 12th, the Rivets traveled to Green Bay for the first time to take on the Bullfrogs, but lost game 1 by a score of 12-7. Garrett Getz had 3 hits and 2 runs in that game.
The next day, it was a different story in Green Bay. The Hurricane, Cooper Kane on the mound, dominating, ended up getting pitcher of the night, threw 7, didn't allow a run. In the bottom of the 8th inning, though, Nathan Schneiderman came on. He struggled, allowing 3 runs. In the bottom of the 9th, the boys in black and white came in with a 7-3 lead, but after not allowing a hit and allowing base runners to reach on walks, wild pitches, and hit by pitches, Nolan Gazowski and Tanner Probst ended up giving up the lead and losing on a walk-off walk 8-7.
But on Thursday, June 14th, the Rivets beat the Kenosha Kingfish by a score of 9-1. The bats were working for him. Evan Snyder made his first start of the season for the Rivets. He pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run, and had 6 strikeouts. Scott, that was the longest outing of his career with the Rivets since he came off of an injury about 2 months ago.
The next day, the baseball games came back to Rockford for a little Friday night action versus Kenosha in the home-and-home series. It was a tough first half of the top inning. It was a tough top of the first for Jackson Bronke, who got 12 strikeouts his last time out. This time, he got a 3-run home run off him from Will Wagner, and that was the difference. Jackson Bronke had to be pulled after the first inning of work because he threw over 35 pitches, and the final score, 3-0.
On Saturday, the Rivets dropped game 1 to the Wisconsin Woodchucks, 7-4. Cade Bunnell and Parker Bates both had a pair of hits, and Jacob Vanderwall finished with 2 ribbies.
The next day, the Rockford Rivets refused to be swept. And it was a back-and-forth affair. Wyatt Mascarella hit one deep. Pat Leffler hit one deep. They went into the bottom of the 9th inning after a 45-minute rain delay, up 8-4 on the Woodchucks, but the home team would not go down. The Woodchucks hit a grand slam, tied it up. We would go to extras, and in the 10th, 2 runs came across the board. In the bottom of the 10th, after another 35-minute rain delay, nothing doing for the Woodchucks. A 10-8 win. And then the day off on Monday. What happened on Tuesday, Joe?
On Tuesday, the Rivets unfortunately took the L against the first-place Madison Mallards by a score of 9-4. Newcomers Hal Hughes and Mason Template both made their debuts with the Rockford Rivets. Hal Hughes had an RBI, went 1 for 5, and Mason Template went 2 for 4 with a 3-run dinger.
Joe, you know who's been hot this past week?
Who's been hot, Scott? That sounded nice.
Mr. Jacob Vanderwall. Jacob Vanderwall has a 10-game road hitting streak. He's been an absolute menace, double city. He's been hitting 340. He's got 13 RBIs, 1 home run last week at Green Bay. Man, he is hitting his stride right now and being another weapon to add with the newcomers coming in. It's going to be interesting to see where he can find his place in this Rockford Rivets offense.
Absolutely. They're going to be a tough team to beat, I think, in the next coming week, Scott. I'm going to talk about a pitching performance. We swept the Growlers last week, as you mentioned. Chase Keeter had a pretty big game that game. He went 8 innings, allowed no runs, struck out 5 batters, and a dominant performance so far this year. He holds a record of 2-1 with a 2.80 ERA, 17 strikeouts, and only 7 walks in 25 innings pitched, Scott. So I'd say that it's pretty efficient.
We also got a lot of good catchers on the roster, don't you think?
Oh, gosh.
Wyatt Mascarella showed up this week to join Brandon Giltro and Brock Mathis. And let's see how you do against them.
Challenge accepted.
Scott Gladstone here with Wright State catcher Brandon Giltro. Brandon, you won the conference championship this year at Wright State. Can you talk about how that was, winning the conference championship with your team?
It was awesome. It's something you want to do every single year, and when you finally get to that point and really do it, it's like the build-up is insane, and then once you finally get to there, it's awesome.
You've been here for a short time. You showed up a little bit late because of the conference championship and everything. What have you enjoyed thus far playing with the Rivets?
So far, I've really enjoyed the guys, all the teammates. The travel hasn't been horrible. It's been pretty close. It's been good crowds, and just like playing for the Rivets.
And then finally, what do you want to get out of the rest of the summer here playing for Brian Smith and Rockford?
I want to improve my hitting. I want to be ready for next season, and I just want to become an overall better player.
All right.
What's up, boys? Joe Byers here. You know me. Come on. Seriously, we do this all the time. Yo, I would like to do another competition. I've tried, like, positions out in the field, and I'm trying to be back to my natural position behind the plate right now because I'm a born catcher. You know, I was born behind the plate. My mom told me I was like a fourth cousin of Pudge Rodriguez, so by marriage. But so I don't know how we can work this out. But you got something for me?
Do you want to do some pop time?
Yeah, like soda pop.
No, like we pitch it and you see how.
Yeah, of course. I was just joking.
All right, let's set it up then.
Ooh. Slap the tag! Gotta be at least second and a half. I came out of the crouch. That was explosive, though.
Scott here. The difference in that one was 1-9 to 2-3, but accuracy was a little off there. Joe, what are your thoughts on missing that throw?
My second baseman could have slapped the tag a little bit better. I'm used to wearing full gear as well, so a little out of my element, but he's a good ball player.
Were you going 100% on that?
I'm not letting him drag me under the mud here. He didn't throw me the ball. I had to jump. Like, this dude throws a perfect strike, and he airmails it. I can't believe him.
Upset second baseman here. Were you going 100% there, Brandon?
Oh, absolutely. He's a great competitor. You know, it was a good hard battle, but I'm glad I came out on top.
All right. You heard it from Brandon Giltro. Another loss for Joe here, 0-3. Scott Gladstone here with Hal Hughes, shortstop for the Rockford Rivets by way of LSU. First of all, can you talk about why you love the game of baseball?
I just love coming out here and playing with good guys, you know, especially coming out here this summer, meeting a bunch of new people, building great relationships. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Why Rockford? You could be a lot of different places to play your summer ball. Why'd you come play with the Rivets?
I heard it's a great program, you know, had good teams in the past. We had a bunch of good players from LSU play here and have great experiences, and it's a great league for me. I think the Northwoods play a ton of games, get a bunch of at-bats, and just get better.
What's your favorite MLB team?
New York Mets.
Professional comparison or somebody you model your game after?
Grew up loving Derek Jeter, so played shortstop. So that's one guy I try to emulate my game after.
Favorite non-baseball pro team?
New England Patriots.
If you could play a sport other than baseball, what would it be?
Basketball. I love basketball.
What do you like to do in your free time? Do you have a hobby or anything like that?
I like to fish a little bit. Play video games, a little Fortnite. That's about it.
Pump up song?
Big Kevin Gates guy. I like the Louisiana rappers, so I'd say Kevin Gates.
When you get a choice of what number you want to have, what number do you choose and why?
Number 3, definitely. That's been my number my whole life. Guy named Pete Frates played for my dad at Boston College, so I wear number 3 because of Pete Frates.
And finally, where's your dream vacation?
I would say Bahamas. I just love the beach, so probably the Bahamas.
Awesome. This is Hal Hughes. Thank you a lot for your time. You can see him playing shortstop for the Rockford Rivets. That was Loose Screws, another segment we're doing this week. You'll be introduced to all sorts of new players and old players and all sorts of Rivets here at the stadium.
Absolutely.
And that's just going to do it, but we have a little bit more. We're going to talk about the schedule for the upcoming week. Tonight in Rivets Stadium, for the first time this season, the I-39 rivalry comes to Rockford, and the Rivets host the first-place Madison Mallards. Joe, what do they need to do to beat the Mallards?
Well, I think they need to be more consistent on the bats. You know, it took a while yesterday. We both saw it took us till about the 7th inning to really get something going. And like Brian Smith said yesterday, hopefully they can carry that momentum in over to today and give the Ducks a run for their money.
Yeah, and it should be interesting to see Cooper Kane, 3-time pitcher of the night, on the mound for the Rivets tonight. If there's anybody you want to give the ball, he's got to be near the top of your list. Then it's 2 more games at home against the Battle Creek Bombers, the first time the Rivets see the Bombers this season. Friday night, it's Star Wars night and a post-game fireworks show. Let's see if we can get some fireworks on the field and then see some fireworks in the sky after the game. Then it's a 2-game road trip to Green Bay. The last time in the regular season we'll be going to Green Bay. Should be a good one. They split the series last week against the Bullfrogs. And then next Monday it'll be a home and home with the first half of a home and home. It's halfway to Christmas on Monday, June 25th. Anytime we can have a Christmas celebration, I'm down.
Absolutely.
So that'll do it for us, for Scott Gladstone, for everybody who does a great job editing and producing this Rivets Rundown. This is Joe Byers. I'm Scott Gladstone. Hey, get riveted.